going with the main dish that we're making. So, what's cooking on Cindy's Kitchen in the dark today? We're making meatball zucchini boats and onions with potatoes and garlic. Yum! Looks fine, kind of like Halloween cooking, I know. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the potatoes. And like I said, this is a rerun. We've already made this on Cindy's Kitchen, I don't know how long ago. But we're gonna make it again, because this is the side dish I want, or the kids want, to go with the main dish tonight. So, here's how we start. Now this is a 2.5 quart, pardon me, 2.5 quart covered baker. You're gonna need something with a lid. I know, it's dark, isn't it? Good morning, Linda. Anyway, so you're gonna need something with a lid, or you can cover it with foil. That's fine. This is one of my favorite things to cook my potatoes in. So, got the lid. Candlelight is a nice effect. Ooh, I know. You know the scary story where you put it up underneath you? Ooh, I know, I look scary, don't I? All right, so we started off with 4 potatoes. Now, oh, you still have some in your freezer from last time. Anyhow, you're gonna start with about 4 potatoes. It depends on your family and the size of your potatoes. Yeah, no, Maddie, we have no power on Cindy's Kitchen, and so we're doing this in the dark. So there you go. Anyway, so I did 4 potatoes. They're about a medium-sized potato. If you have small potatoes, you may need to do more. If you have really big potatoes, maybe you do less. And again, you can switch this around to fit however big your family is. Almost every recipe I do, you know, it should be easy to adjust for your family. Good morning, Joan. I know. So I've taken the potatoes, peel the potatoes. I don't like the skins. And then these are like cut in like half moons. But you can dice them, you can slice them, you can dice it, you can slice it, you can chuck it, whatever you want to do with it, all right? Remembering only that the smaller you cut your potato pieces, the faster it cooks. The larger your chunks, the longer it takes to cook, okay? So this is really another one of those dump recipes, right? We're gonna start with our 4 potatoes, that's what I'm using, 4 potatoes that have been peeled and diced up, basically. I've got 1 onion that has been sliced up. I'm just gonna, ooh, look at that. Dump that on the top. And I've got 3 cloves of garlic that have been minced garlic. If you have roasted garlic, you know that's the best. But if you don't, any kind of garlic will work. Now, I'm gonna put just a little bit of olive oil in here. I know, no power. I know, Sandy, isn't it fun? So I'm just gonna put just a little bit, you know, maybe a teaspoon of olive oil in here. And I'm gonna use a lot of butter, but I need some olive oil in here. Cindy's Kitchen in the dark, I know. Just so my spices will adhere to my potatoes and stuff. So I'm gonna use some salt. I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. Really, these don't need anything. I like lots of pepper. Okay, now we're gonna give it a stir. So all we have is potatoes, onions, garlic, a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil or canola oil, whatever you have, just to wet them enough so that the salt and pepper sticks to the potatoes and the onions, okay? You're just gonna give that a stir just to make sure everybody's mixed together. I know, it's so dark in here, isn't it? Hi, Lacey. Hi, Bess. All right, now, then this is the naughty thing that I always do. I have an entire stick of butter. An entire stick of butter. Can you believe that? I know. If you have shook your head at me and said, Cindy, no, 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 use a half a stick of butter. Use a quarter stick of butter. It's all up to you. We have lights here at Lakewood Forest, but it's pouring rain and thundering. It was loud here. Like the lightning felt like it was like right overhead. Very scary. Very scary. Good dark afternoon, Lisa. All right, so I just cubed that whole stick up. See, I just cut it in little squares. And I'm just gonna lay this butter on the top. Why? Because what we want is when the heat hits it, right? Then the butter's gonna melt, and the butter is gonna melt straight down. So it's gonna go through all the potatoes and onions and then go down to the bottom. Like I said, if you think an entire stick of butter is too much for you, that's fine. Use a half a stick, use a quarter stick, whatever you're happy with. This is like one of my family's favorite recipes just because it is so yummy. We used to call it, when I was growing up, it had a name, Jackie's Potatoes, because it started out, my mom had a friend named Jackie, and she came up with this recipe, or she had it, and we had it at her house a lot. And so my whole life growing up, these were Jackie's Potatoes. So there you go. Okay, and that's it. How easy is that? 4 potatoes diced up, 1 onion sliced up, thin, okay? 3 cloves of garlic, minced, a little oil just to hold the salt and the pepper, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper. If you don't like pepper that much, use a half, right? And then I cubed up a whole stick of butter and put it on top. So you see what that looks like? That's it. We're gonna put the lid on it. And if I had power, which I do not, if I had power, I would have preheated my oven to 350 degrees and I would put these in the oven for somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. Doesn't really take that long to cook. Diamond dots. Now I need to learn crochet stitches. I was doing diamond dots by candlelight this morning waiting, so it calms me down. Anyway, so how easy is that? The dumped potatoes, very easy. Now again, a little bacon would be tasty, certainly. You could add bacon to this, you could add green onions to this. Your hearts can, whatever. Simple for us. And like I said, this is if you're looking at what size, this is a 2.5 quart, so you can see about how big it is, a 2.5 quart covered casserole. If you don't have a casserole that's about 2.5 quarts, you certainly could use whatever baking dish you have, and then you could put foil on the top. But you do want to cover it because you want to keep all of the steam, all of the heat inside, because that's going to cook the potatoes and melt the butter. And so, yeah, you can put cheese in these, whatever your little heart desires. There you go. Basic recipe, though. Potatoes, onions, garlic, and butter. Yum. Okay, so that's the side dish for that morning, or tonight, whenever we get powder. It is it's called Bluebell. Bluebell. Okay. In the dark still. Here we are in the dark still. My mom made something like this but added Canadian bacon. That would be good as well. Okay. Now, I was kind of joking, and I didn't know it was going to rain today, although I kind of did, because I woke up this morning and my hands were doing the arthritic, the old lady arthritic thing, which makes me look even scarier on Facebook, doesn't it? Right? There's no power. I got these funky candles and lights going, and I'm all arthritic. I look like the old hag in Cinderella, or no, the Snow White. Want an apple, my pretty? I don't have an apple. Do I have an apple? No, but I have a pear. Here we go. Want a pear, my pretty? There you go. Old hag. All right, so now we're going to make the main course. The main course. And we're going to get some veggie in here. We're going to get some veg and some meat in here. All right, you will need, again, another covered casserole or a 11 by 13 or a 9 by 13 baking dish with foil. So one of the two, doesn't matter which. Now, I'm not using square. I look fine. Well, thank you. I'm not using a square one, and you would think that would be easier, but I'm just using the oval one. So this one is a little bigger. It's a squoval. It's a big oval with a lid. But again, use a square one if you have a square one with a lid. And I started out with three, because that's all that would fit in my dish. You could make 2 dishes, right? Up to you, depending on the size of your family. But I started out with 3 zucchini squash. Now, you can take just a regular spoon. I used my grapefruit spoon. Because I like that grapefruit spoon with the serrated edges on the top, but you could use a regular spoon. You're gonna cut your zucchini long ways, right? So let me put a zucchini back together. There's a zucchini back together. I cut off both ends, and then I took my spoon and just scooped out the center. Now, how much do you wanna scoop out? Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put meatballs inside of here. And so I just want enough room for my meatballs to sit. And so, that's really the thing. That's how much space I want. There we go. Did I keep this? No. But if you want to, you could. Traditional zucchini boats, for those of you who have made them before, uses either ground up sausage or ground up hamburger meat. Nope, these are not homegrown. Got these at the grocery store. So this does not, because we have no power. So how was I gonna cook anything, really? We have no power, and quick, easy, yummy. I happened to look in my freezer and I had 4 bags, 4 bags of store brand, although it doesn't matter what brand, pre-cooked meatballs, okay? Pre-cooked meatballs, already here. So I just took them out and let them defrost because we don't want them frozen, right? Because that's gonna make this so much easier, all right? Now, so most of the recipes will have used ground up sausage or ground hamburger meat. You would cook it on the stovetop in a skillet with maybe some onion. Maybe you would take the inside of the zucchini that you scooped out and you would put that in there. Maybe you would add tomatoes, all kinds of seasonings, and you could make taco zucchini boats or Italian zucchini boats or whatever you have. I think this is autumn. I think this is like one of my original patterns. Anyway, so, but we're not doing that because that requires cooking. I don't want to cook. Quick, easy, yummy. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to use the meatballs instead. The pre-cooked, already done meatballs. Can you make the meatballs from scratch? Well, of course you can. Not quick or easy, but yummy, right? So I'm just using what I had in the freezer. I know. I'm always in the dark, aren't I? In the dark. There you go. The other thing that these traditionally use is spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce. Some of them use salsa. Like if you're doing a Mexican one, you can do salsa. And all of those ideas are wonderful. But if you remember last week when we did 4 bags, 4 cans, and 4 meals, and the very last one I did, I said to get adventuresome and go to your grocery store's international aisle and look at some of the jarred sauces that they have, because they have some phenomenal things. And we've already had the one that was the Malaysian inspired rendang coconut sauce. Oh, it was so good. We just did it over rice. So good. It was so good. So because of that, I'm using another one of the spices, pre-jars, right, that I got at the grocery store. Now, this is a Moroccan inspired. How kind of romantic is that? Morocco. We could go to Morocco. Anyway, harissa and roasted red pepper. Now, this says this is a simmer sauce. Doesn't matter. It's a sauce, right? So, if you go to your grocery store and you find something cool like the coconut sauce or an African-inspired sauce, just look at what the ingredients are. 9 times out of 10, the ingredients are like bell peppers and onions and garlic, and they're things that you're familiar with, but maybe you're just not familiar with that particular mixture of it, right? So, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and I have my zucchini already cut and hollowed out, okay? But I'm gonna take those out just a second. Oh, you know what? I didn't hollow that one out. Let me hollow that out really quick. Oh, then I'll have to make a mess. Let me get a bowl. Okay, so again, you just take your spoon, watch, and just go down kind of like if you had, like when I do cucumbers, if I don't have an English cucumber, because you know the seeds inside the cucumber are what makes you burp, right? And so if you don't want to burp, such a funny word, isn't it? Burp. You take a spoon and you do this to get the seeds out. So same basic thing that I'm doing with the zucchini. So I'm just taking the center out so that I have a boat, if you will, to hold my little meatballs. Okay, now that being said, if I burn myself on a candle, bad things will happen. And God said, let there be light, and Cindy's kitchen had light. So there you go. Strangest video ever, right? Strangest video ever. Well, we may have to go back just so you can see what we cooked. Okay, so here's my dish. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of my sauce in the bottom of the dish, okay? You don't need a whole lot, maybe a quarter cup. So you see it's in the bottom of the dish, and I'm just gonna do one of these swirly things. Do a swirly, just so that I have something for them to lay down on. There should be water, because we're gonna put the boats, right? I know, it's great. Let there be light, gotta love it, woo-hoo. So now we're gonna take our boats, and we're going to lay them in the ocean that is Moroccan inspired sauce, right? But really, you can use spaghetti sauce, you can use marinara sauce, you can use whatever sauce you want. I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna lay them on top of the sauce. And really, how you put them in isn't as important as, getting in however many you can. All right, so both side up, right? And now, look at this, store-bought meatballs. We're just gonna lay the store-bought meatballs on top of the zucchini. I gotta move the candle. Blowing the candles out, hold on. Oh, hold on. Man, my wish would not come true. Took me forever to blow that out. Okay, so look, I'm gonna take it out of the sauce just a second. So all I'm gonna do is see how I'm gonna get sauce all over my fingers, okay? So I'm just gonna put the meatballs in the boat, okay? Meatballs in the boat. See? Ta-da! Now look at that. If you were gonna eat it, you could cut it there and that's a perfect bite, right? You've got zucchini, you've got meatball, you're gonna have sauce, and then we're gonna have cheese on top, right? So 4 to me is a good size for this, but maybe 5 is good for you. If you think a whole meatball is too much, you could cut your meatballs in half and put those in there like this. I'm using whole meatballs because why? 1, lazy, didn't want to cut it. Oh, you bought some Nutella. Oh, I hope you like it. Let me just give you a heads up. Several of you have talked to me about that Nutella recipe I made. It is very rich. I'm telling you, a little bit goes a long way. If you get a big old bowl of that stuff, you're gonna be going, woo, diabetic sugar shock. I'm telling you, whoa. I love it, don't get me wrong, but hello. Okay, so if I put 4 in each one of them, I had 3 meatballs left. 3 meatballs. So I'm just gonna put the meatballs like on the sides in the sauce. And then somebody can dig out an extra meatball. All right, so this was a 14-ounce package of frozen pre-cooked meatballs, store brand. How easy is that? All right, so there you go. I'm gonna lift it up so you see what it looks like. You can do a rectangle, whatever, we're gonna need a lid. So whether you have a 9x13 with a lid or you have just use foil, either way. Okay, so now we have the rest of our sauce. Options. Options are you can be very pretty and put the sauce on top of everything so that everybody has come to the party. I probably, depending on how big your sauce is, right? So like if you're using a big jar of spaghetti sauce, you probably have plenty of sauce to not use a spoon, but just dump, like pour it on top. You probably have plenty of sauce to do that. This jar is 16 ounces, so basically 2 cups. So I just want to make sure that everybody gets a taste. All the meatballs have a taste of yummy harissa sauce. Oh, I love Moroccan food. And well, as you can tell, are you asking yourself, Cindy, is there any kind of food you don't like? And the answer is yes, because several of you have sent me messages asking me to make seafood. And that would be the one thing Cindy doesn't like. I like shrimp, I like lobster, I like crawfish. Oh my gosh. Every one of my you-know-who's is going off saying that they can't connect to the internet. Funny. Okay, all right. So everybody is covered with sauce now. Oh, so good. Okay, let me just pour. If you wanted to do this in a Mexican way, you could use salsa, and that would be fine. But like I said, be adventuresome. Go to your international aisle and find something new. Now, we don't need to season the top of this because this is a Moroccan sauce and it's got a lot of seasoning in it. And even if you got jarred marinara or spaghetti sauce, pretty much it's an okay sauce. You don't need to really add salt and pepper, but we're gonna need some cheese. Before we add the cheese, and because we have light, let's do trivia, shall we? I wasn't certain we were gonna get to do trivia today because I wasn't certain that I could read the trivia in the dark. All right, you ready? Here's our trivia. One zucchini is called a zucchina. So zucchini is only proper if you're talking about multiple. A singular is a zucchina. A zucchina. Zucchina. Anyway, I feel like I'm in it. It's Italian, right? Zucchina, and then multiples are zucchini. They were first brought to the United States in the 1920s by Italians. So that's where they came from. April 25th, although we've passed it, is National Zucchini Bread Day. Gosh, we missed it. I'm very sad. We could have made zucchini bread. The flower of the zucchini is edible, and the squash blossoms, a lot of them, they fry them. It's kind of a delicacy. Have you had a fried squash blossom? A great recipe when you take the squash blossoms is you make kind of like a cream cheese or a ricotta with lots of herbs, and you stuff it inside the flowers, and then you kind of bread them, and then you fry them. Ooh, so good. Have you ever had them? Have you had the flowers? The world's largest zucchini on record was 69.5 inches long, and it weighed 65 pounds. Now that is a big old zucchini, and it was grown in the United Kingdom. A zucchini has more potassium than a banana. I know we all think that bananas are like the best source of potassium, but a zucchina, see, not a zucchini, a zucchina has more potassium than a banana. A zucchina and a banana. See, lots of today. The word zucchini comes from zucca, the Italian word for squash. Zucca. Want some zucca? Danny Zucca. That's what I think of from Greece. Yo, man, Danny Zucca. Hey. Anyway, I'm doing Fonzie. That's the wrong thing. Anyway, biggest is not the best. When you are looking for zucchini, the most flavorful ones are the small to medium ones, not the big ones. The huge ones really can be bitter and they don't have much flavor. So you want small to medium zucchini, and you want the darker skin. So if it's the darker skin has richer nutrients in it, and it just tastes better. Here you go. Is zucchini a vegetable or a fruit? Come on. Vegetable or fruit? What is the zucchini? Tell me. Do you know? Vegetable or fruit? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. 27 of you. You're lurking. You're not responding. Vegetable or fruit? Which is it? Hello, hello. I'm waiting. La, 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 la. Vegetable or fruit? Oh, Cheryl says a fruit. We'll see. We'll see. Who's next? Come on, guess, 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 guess. Fruit? I am very impressed with you Fruit Loops, because I don't know that I ever thought about it. But yes, although widely referred to as a vegetable, a zucchini are actually a fruit. They're technically a fruit. They're also called a courgette, or courgette. Courgette, I think. Courgette. Like if you're ever watching a cooking show from the UK, they say that they're using courgettes or courgette, but courgettes is what I've usually heard. And a courgette, when they say that, is just a zucchini squash or a zucchina squash. We're gonna just freak everybody out when they go, do you have a zucchina? and they're gonna look at you funny. A zucchini, well, you know, that is proper. Just saying. Sometimes you feel like a nut. I know, sometimes you don't. Zucchini are members of the cucumber and melon family, both of them. I know, we learn something new every day, don't we, Tana? Zucchini is the only fruit that starts with a Z. So if you're playing, we used to play in the car, we used to play that game, A to Z. And then so we go A to Z food, right? Or A to Z fruit, A to Z vegetables. We did A to Z Bible characters. We did A to Z Disney characters. We did A to Z cartoons. We did A to Z everything when we were traveling with the girls. Anyway, zucchini is the only fruit that starts with a Z. So there you go, for trivia purposes, in case you know. There are only 17 calories in 100 grams of a zucchini. So basically, one. It's low in saturated fat, low in sodium, low in cholesterol. It's a good source of protein, vitamin A, thiamine, niacin, phosphorus. I didn't know I needed phosphorus. I needed that earlier so I could glow in the dark. Copper, and a good source of dietary fiber. It also has vitamin C, vitamin K, riboflavin, vitamin B6, folate, magnesium, potassium, and manganese. I always like to say that. Manganese. It's fun. I don't know. Spain is the I know it does sound like a cruise ship trivia question. Spain is the largest producer of zucchini in the world. You'd think it would be Italy, right? Zucchinis are all water. Not as much as watermelon is. Or eggplant. Eggplant has a lot. But you're right, it does have a lot of water in it. Which is good, because that makes it yummy. And it also means that we're going to soak up a lot of stuff, right? Okay, so there is your trivia. Raw or cooked, your zucchini is yummy. So there you go. Do you ever do zoodles instead of pasta? I have, Heather. It just takes a lot of zoodling. And I have one of those things. I have one of these, and I have one of these. It's a lot of this. And it takes a whole lot of zoodling to get enough pasta, right, that we would eat. So it's good. I've cooked them with garlic and butter, and everybody likes them. It's just a lot of work for me. So, although you can buy them, but they're kind of pricey when you buy bags of zoodles. Okay, so what did we do for our main course? First, we did a layer of our sauce, whatever sauce you want. Spaghetti sauce, marinara sauce, salsa, or any of the wonderful, yummy on the international aisle flavored sauces. This is a Moroccan-inspired harissa and roasted red pepper. A little layer on the bottom so that our boats have something to float on. We took our zucchini, cut them in half long ways, scooped out the center with a spoon so that our meatballs could ride in the boats because they have to have seats in the boat. So the zucchini boats are sitting on the water. We take our meatballs and they get up onto their cruise ship and get in their little seats, in their little cabins. So we put 4 meatballs into each cabin, into each boat. Maybe they're lifeboats. My cruise is gonna be canceled. You know that, right? Yeah. I knew it would be, but I held out hope because we have one scheduled for August the 7th. I know, and I knew it would be canceled, but oh, I miss cruising. I miss cruising so bad. It is so much fun. It is like the best vacation. Best. Anyway. Meatballs on the top. Now we take the rest of our sauce, whatever sauce you may have chosen, spaghetti, marinara, salsa, whatever, right? And then we spoon that or pour that on top so that all of our meatballs have a nice little coating of sauce. And now to top that off. Now, if you're trying to watch your calories and you say, no cheese for me, that's fine. You don't have to put cheese. And what kind of cheese you use can change. If you use spaghetti or marinara sauce, maybe you use shredded mozzarella, right? Or you use a combination of mozzarella and parmigiano. Maybe you put that on there, right? Or if you're using the salsa, maybe you use a Mexican cheese. Or you just use some sharp cheese. there are so many different pre-shredded cheeses that you can buy, but quite frankly, you can get any cheese you want, like a smoked Gouda, provolone, anything, and use that kind of shredded cheese on the top. Quite frankly, don't get too bogged down on what kind of cheese it is. Whatever is in your cheese drawer, use that. Don't go to the grocery store. You know I hate that. Rebecca had, my friend Becca, who owns More Polish Pottery, had a Facebook Live last night, and she was telling, I think I saw that Susan was on, telling a story about her mom and her aunt or something were talking over Father's Day, and they were talking about the Coca-Cola cake, you know, where you take the cake mix in a can of soda. And one of them said, oh, well, she used ginger ale, but I didn't have ginger ale. I just had 7-Up, so I just used that. And I think that's so awesome, because that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to have to go to the store and buy particular ingredients. I want you to look and go, okay, she said to be crazy, to be a little nutsoid. And so there you go, do that. We've never been on international, kind of, but not out of, we've done Jamaica, Bahamas, all south. But that's the only places we've been. Okay, so there you go. That's what it looks like. Look how pretty that is. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Now, I'm going to put this in the oven somewhere between 375 and 400 degrees. You choose, right? Think about this. The meatballs are already done. I did let them defrost, so they're not frozen. The meatballs are done. Zucchini is good raw or cooked, but we do want to cook it enough so that we can cut it. And it's a nice, it may still have a little crisp to it, but we want to be able to chew. The cheese is going to melt all over this and run down into our yummy sauce. And look at that. And because zucchini do have quite a bit of water in it, that zucchini flavor is going to meld with the sauce flavor. Okay? So now you need a lid, whether you have a baker with a lid, or if you just have a 9x13 or whatever baking dish, and you're gonna cover that with foil. Again, 375 to 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. And that's it. So we started off with a 2.5 quart baker covered dish, or foil, whatever. We did potatoes, 4 potatoes, diced up, 1 onion sliced up, 3 cloves of garlic, minced, a little oil, just so that it would hold our salt and pepper, and then a stick of butter, cut up and laid on the top. We're gonna put this in the oven, 350 degrees, 45 minutes or an hour. So I would put this in first and then shove that in and then crank it up a bit. So there you go. Or quite frankly, put them both in at the same time. It'll be fine. If you do 350 degrees, because that is what I'm gonna do. But if you were doing them separately, I'm gonna put both of these in at 350, and even though this should be at a higher heat, this needs longer to cook. So they'll cook the same amount of time. So there you go. How fun was that? We started in the dark. We started in the dark. That sounds like me, doesn't it? We started in the dark, and then the lights came back on. So power is back. We can blow out all the candles. Oh, smoke everywhere. Whoa, whoa. Blow out the candles. I hope you had a lovely day. Don't forget to share the Facebook Live with your friends on your page. You don't have to do it public. You don't have to, just your friends and your family. Also, if you'd like any of the recipes that we've done, please check out Cindy's Kitchen YouTube page, also called Cindy's Kitchen. How easy is that? So glad to see all of you today. I hope you have a lovely day. From my kitchen to yours in these wet times, may you get in your zucchini boat, grab onto your meatball, and have a lovely saucy day. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Bye-bye.